All right, let's get started here. It's a little past 11 a.m. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alok Pant. I'm CEO of Unvired, based in Houston, Texas. Want to welcome all of you to our webinar today, which is titled Operator-Led Maintenance. Operator-Led Maintenance, what high-performing plants are doing differently. Today, we'll be discussing how to empower operators to enable autonomous maintenance, to increase plant uptime and safety. We'll be discussing best practices for this and also a couple of digital tools that can enable this. Next slide, please. All right, so before we get started, a couple of quick housekeeping notes. We will be recording this session and a link will be shared with everyone who's on the webinar today. We will also have a Q&A session towards the end. In the meanwhile, please feel free to share your questions in the Q&A box. And towards the end of the webinar, we will be revealing a couple of special offers to jumpstart your autonomous maintenance journey. So stay tuned. All right, next slide, please. Okay, I'm very happy to introduce our speakers today. Our first speaker is Dan Miklovic. Dan is an industry analyst. For many years, he's been on both sides of the aisle. He's been in the industry. He's also been a consultant. He brings with him over 50 years of experience, including 15 years stint at Gartner. So we're very welcome to have Dan on the webinar today to share his thoughts. Our second speaker is Praveen Calais. He's VP of Products at Unvired. And Praveen brings with him over 20 years of experience in enabling connected worker, asset management, supply chain management solutions. He's also the product owner of the Easy Rounds application. That is the tool to enable operators to do autonomous maintenance. Next slide, please. All right, so really quick look at the agenda today before I hand it over to Dan. We are going to talk about total productive maintenance and how autonomous maintenance fits in as one of the 8 pillars as a part of TPM. We're going to talk about why organizations struggle with operator-led maintenance. We're going to discuss best practices. And then Praveen will give you an introduction to the Unvired Easy Rounds application. We'll do a quick demo. The demo will come right around the 23-minute mark. So stay tuned for the demo. And then, of course, we'll have Q&A. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Dan. Take it over.
Thanks, Alok. Welcome, everyone. Let's talk about what TPM is first. TPM is variously known as both the Toyota production methodology and total productive maintenance. We're going to focus on total productive maintenance, which is actually an element of the Toyota production methodology. Total productive maintenance is about improving the plant operation. It's tied into the whole Toyota methodology, though, because it's about lean, doing the right things at the right time. It's about focusing on everything in its place and a place for everything. And it's about adding value in every step of an operation you do. So with that, we want to talk about what are the elements of TPM and why does it matter? Well, it matters because it's operator driven. And in the lean methodology, the operator or the person closest to the process is the one who has the greatest responsibility to make things work. It's also a very proactive approach. It identifies issues before they become problems. It does extend the reliability of the equipment by extending their life cycles because the equipment is getting proper preventative maintenance literally on a daily or even operational basis, depending on whether you're doing it during shift change or once a day. Depends on how your plant and your processes are set up. And then this improves both the OEE numbers, but it also gives the operator ownership and gives them the ability to influence the outcomes. It's a very cultural thing too. TPM and autonomous maintenance matter because it helps develop a culture where the operator who knows their machine best generally and it really can have the most impact on its day-to-day operation is totally involved in making sure that things work well. And it reduces your dependence on specialized technicians. And all of this combined together then starts to reduce the cost that you're going to see in maintenance. It also improves production quality. So what are those benefits? What do you expect to see when you do autonomous maintenance? Well, companies that have implemented TPM, and the key thing being that autonomous maintenance is the very first and initial step in a good TPM program. So if you go down the TPM path, including autonomous maintenance, you're going to see 30 to 70% improvement in downtime. Depends on where you start. Obviously, if you have a well-run plant with minimal downtime, it's going to be a little harder to get significant improvements. However, we have seen examples in industry where plants have seen 85% reductions because they were really in bad shape. And once they went down the TPM methodology, they saw significant improvements. We also see that this translates into direct dollar savings. 10 to 30% reduction in maintenance costs, not just in downtime, but in actual maintenance costs. You use fewer parts. You tend to rely less on specialized maintenance technicians because you're using your operators. And the industry average is somewhere in the $8,000 to $10,000 range per production process, whether that be a cell or a line. Again, obviously it depends very much on the complexity of the line or the process, but you can see savings in that range, which then translates, this downtime reduction also translates in a 5 to 15 point increase in your OEE. And again, depending on where you start, this could be as much as a 40% increase in the OEE. Obviously, the lower you are in OEE today, the easier it is to get large percentage increases. But all of this thing depends on good processes, and you really need to have a digital process because it's been shown that digitalized processes for implementing autonomous maintenance deliver higher results than if you try to do this strictly with paper or hard copy type checklists. So what are some of the actual benefits that we've actually seen in industry today? Well, Toyota, let's look at them. They've seen downtime reductions of 50%. They've extended the lifespan of their equipment, and they've improved their quality standards. Toyota has been recognized numerous times in industry, particularly in certain plants like their Lexus plants and others, of having some of the highest quality in the industry. And this is because of the 80% rule. 80% of your quality problems come during non-steady state operations. So the more you can run your plant smoothly, evenly, and continuously, the better your quality is going to be. And they're not the only ones that have seen these kind of results. Unilever reports a 12% increase in operational OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. They saw significant reductions in downtime and repair time both. And the employee involvement in autonomous maintenance helped create better employee engagement, and it cut their operational costs. Nestle, another food and beverage company besides Unilever, has seen similar results with 35% reduction in production stoppages. And again, it keeps coming back to fewer problems, fewer quality issues. The more you can run your plant at a nice steady pace with less outages, the better your quality is going to be. And Ford, another automotive company, has also seen critical equipment availability rising to 98%, an enviable number that most companies would love to achieve. And this is also, again, translated into improvement in quality with 40% reduction in vehicle defects. So why, if it's so beneficial to do this, do so many companies and organizations in manufacturing struggle to implement autonomous maintenance in TPM? Well, part of it is that frontline operators must be involved. And the challenge they have is the two technology systems that are out there to deal with the activities associated with autonomous maintenance, which are the clean, lubricate, inspect aspects of a process that tends to be somewhat maintenance oriented. And the operators, plant floor operators, typically their primary digital tool, if they even have one, is a manufacturing execution system. MES systems, or MOM systems, as they're also known, manufacturing operation management, are production focused. They're very product centric and they're very linear. It's do this step, then this step, then this step. They don't really allow for a lot of branching, which is what you need on an inspection and rounds type system where you inspect something, and if it looks one way, you do one thing. If it looks a different way, you do a different thing. It may need lubrication. There's a lot of flexibility required. Well, EAM or CMMS systems, enterprise asset management or computerized maintenance management systems, they provide some of that flexibility, but they tend to be very technician focused and they're really more oriented around repair and replace workflows. They tend to be created and owned by the maintenance department, not the production department. And so, what you have here is a situation where you don't have the right tool for the job. And that's the gap, is that operators lack the right digital tool. Again, lean methodology at the very root of autonomous maintenance and TPM says you use the right tool for the right job. Well, if you're trying to use an MES system, it's sort of like using an SAE wrench, or if you're using an EAM system, you're using an adjustable crescent wrench when you're trying to use it on a metric bolt. You can make it work, but you're going to not get as good a quality of operation and effectiveness as you do if you use the exact right tool that you really need for that job. So, what are autonomous maintenance best practices? Well, the first thing to remember is that autonomous maintenance is, as I said earlier, the very first step in the whole TPM methodology, which means you need to do steps within it to make it successful. You need to close that execution gap that we just talked about. It has to be the right tool for the right job so that people can do exactly what's needed in a good autonomous maintenance activity. Again, focusing on cleaning, lubricating, inspecting, and setting up the process for correct operation. It must be embedded into the daily workflow. It has to be done. You can't do autonomous maintenance when something breaks. You do it proactively. It is a part of getting ready for the work day or the process run. I mean, when we say daily, obviously, if it's a very continuous process and there's no shutdown during shift change or things, you might do it only when you're doing process or product changes. But it has to be embedded into the daily workflow. You need digital tools. You can't rely on paper tools, partly because of the variability of the need to clean, lubricate, and inspect. And in that inspect phase, when you find things in a certain way, you may need to change what the next steps are. You may need to do something different. So you need something that gives you the ability to collect the information and branch if needed. Finally, you have to have fast detection. You need to be able to get things reported, and if it needs to be escalated up to a higher level, you need to be able to do that immediately. And more importantly, you need visibility up and down the chain, because TPM, being part of lean, requires sort of an and-on board methodology where everybody can see what's going on, and management as well as the rest of the people engaged in the process shift supervisors, production leads, all those people need to make sure that A, the work's being done, what the results are, and get ready for the next steps. So how do you do this from, what are the steps you need to take to do autonomous maintenance? Well, first thing, you need to shift from paper checklists to digital. Again, this is something that we found virtually every company that makes this successful is based on, getting a process in place that makes it quick, reliable, and accurate. And this allows, when you shift from those paper checklists to digital, it allows you to start doing this quicker, faster, better. It gives you the coaching tools you need, such as voice notes, videos, and other things to help you get the job done right. It's not something you can do with a remote or a system that's remotely located. It is something the operator does as they work around the machine. So you need something that's a mobile tool. They need to be able to take it with them as they do every part of the check down the entire process line. Because in many cases, operators aren't standing in front of a single machine. They're responsible for multiple machines in a work cell. So you need something that's capable of being used by the operator anywhere. You need to be able to display the information. You need them to be able to enter information if it needs to be escalated. And again, the most important thing, and probably the thing that will contribute to success the most, is you need a tool that will help you track the right KPIs. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the right key performance indicators, you're not going to get the results you expect. You have to have the KPIs tied to the objectives that you're trying to achieve. And with that, you need the right tool to do the job. And I'm going to turn it over to let Praveen tell you how they've developed the tools to do this for others, so that you can have compliance-ready workflows, you'll get better corrective action, and AI-powered intelligence. So Praveen, you want to introduce us to Unvired?
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you for all those valuable insights. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all once again for joining our session today. I'm really excited to talk about our operator-led maintenance solution and how organizations are incorporating autonomous and digital-first operations. So this is going to be a practical session. We're going to have a live demo. It's not just going to be theory and slides. So please feel free to drop any questions in the chat at any point in time, and we'll have some time at the end for the question and answers. So let me start with a quick introduction to who we are. So Unwired is a trusted provider of AI-powered connected worker solutions. Our focus has been on empowering our frontline workers. Frontline workers means operators, technicians, and supervisors, by giving them simple and mobile-first tools, right? So we work with both SAP and non-SAP enterprise systems and complex, enterprise landscapes. The goal at Unwired is very simple. So we are focusing on less downtime, better decisions, and safer operations. Sushi. So yeah, and this isn't just us saying it. So the industry analysts and customers also seem to agree with this. So one of our customers, Samsung, was named as a runner-up in the IDC's Best in the Future of Customer Experience. Unwired has also been featured in Gartner reports multiple times, which validates both our technology and approach. We've also been recognized as a multi-experience development platform, meaning we've designed for mobile applications, mobile wearables, and also voice-enabled workflows. So let's get into the details of what we actually deliver for autonomous maintenance. So CILT is an industry acronym for Clean, Inspect, Lubricate, and Tighten, right? So it's a template or a standard which has been designed for autonomous maintenance processes. The Easy Round solution that we have built at Unwired follows this template and is specifically designed around operator-led autonomous maintenance. In this solution, we digitize the routine inspections, condition monitoring, and basic maintenance activities for operators. So in our solution, everything is mobile first. It has a very intuitive user interface, and it is designed for use on the shop floor and not in the office, right? Like Dan was mentioning, it's not paper, it's all digital. The system can work standalone or integrate with enterprise systems like SAP EM. So these are some of the highlights of the Easy Round solution. And now let's look at some of the core modules that we have in this solution and how they're actually used. So in the Easy Round solution, we have two main modules, or the core modules. One is the operator CILT, and the other one is the operator rounds or inspections. So the CILT module enables the operators to perform basic maintenance activities at their workstation, like cleaning, inspecting, lubricating, or tightening. Basically, it is the equipment that they work on during the shift. And these activities could be performed either at the start of the shift or anytime during the duration of their shift. The inspection module itself allows operators to perform guided inspections, which are performed directly from their mobile devices. So what this allows the operators is to capture the anomalies or abnormalities that they would see immediately and use photos and videos of as proof of the issues that they have encountered in the field. So the simple maintenance tasks can be handled by the operators themselves. And these complex issues can be escalated to the technicians so that they can handle the detailed maintenance at the later point in time. And what this solution allows the operators does is to reduce the dependency on the maintenance teams for every small issue that they would encounter during the operations. So the key takeaway is that the operators become the first line of defense for asset health, as Dan was mentioning earlier, during his presentation. Now let's look at some of the product features that make this possible. So the Easy Round solution has a web-based tool which is used for planning and scheduling the CILT and the inspections themselves, right? So because these templates have to be first created before the operators can go and start executing them in the field. The mobile component is what allows the execution of the CILT and the inspection on the operator's handheld devices. So these devices could be tablets or mobile phones. So whatever the operators are comfortable using, so we have the ability to do that on their devices. Our system can also integrate with enterprise systems like SAP to import the asset hierarchies and to help set up these inspections very easily, right? So you don't have to start from scratch. Any enterprise system that you're working with, we will help you import that information from there. The solution is also very intuitive and very easily configurable, and provides real-time reporting with customizable dashboards. We also offer a very flexible deployment model where you could either we could host it for you, or you can install it within your data centers based on your privacy requirements. So it's a very, very flexible deployment model that we have for the Easy Round solution. So yeah. I would also like to talk a little bit about the AI features that we're going to be infusing into our solution going forward. So some of these features are like fault identification through image processing. So the operators could just take a picture of the faulty device, and then we do the identification of the faults and then automatically create a fault report. We also have the AI-driven anomaly detection by analyzing historical inspection data, because analysis can only be possible when you have a large data set which you have collected historically. And these digital tools provide you the ability to gather that information over a period of time. So we also have the smart recommendations of technicians for corrective maintenance actions. And one of the cool features that we want to have is the ability to create these CILT and inspection templates automatically based on equipment manuals from OEMs. So what we can now do is maybe just get into a live demonstration of what this tool really looks like from the operator's perspective. I'm going to start sharing my screen. What we can now do is maybe just get into a live demonstration of what this tool really looks like from the operator's perspective. I'm going to start sharing my screen. So please let me know when you see my screen. Okay. So what you see on your screen right now is the Unwired Easy Rounds solution. This is a role-based solution which offers role-based access to various features in the app. You could be logging in as a supervisor, you could be logging in as an operator, or maybe even a technician. But here in this solution here, what you see is a dashboard, which gives you an insight of what has been planned for you as an operator in your shift, right? So the user typically who logs in will log in a certain plant that he's working in and in a certain shift, right? So plants could work in multiple shifts. And in this shift, there are 2 inspections, 2 CILTs, 9 faults, and 5 jobs to be processed. So this is basically the insight. So we have a status here. You can navigate from the dashboard into drill down into each one of these different tiles. But let's look at what the tabs at the bottom have to offer. So when I go to the rounds, what you see here is a 7-day working window of all the CILT and inspections that have been assigned to you or operators within your plant, right? So the previous day, no activities available. Tuesday, we have 2 CILTs and 2 inspections. Wednesday, we have 1 inspection and 1 CILT. So we have what Dan mentioned is the ability to repeat these tasks on a daily basis. And this is what this solution allows you to do, right? So we have all these CILTs and inspections scheduled, and you could go into the inspection for the next day. You can accept it and say that you are ready to perform this inspection on that particular day, on a Wednesday, right? So coming back to today's CILTs and inspections. So let us pick one inspection, which is the safety and compliance inspection round, which has been accepted by me. When I get into this inspection itself, I get a list of all the tasks or the inspection activities which provide the operators a guided flow to perform their activities. These inspection activities can be of various types. They can be like simple inspections. It could be capturing readings. It could be confirmation, taking attachments, GPS capture. So we look at all of these in detail. So the inspection allows you to organize all your tasks in different sections. So we have the first section, which is called the general safety checks. So select the overall safety condition. You could say that it is safe, and then you can mark it, or you can just undo it and then say mark it as unsafe. If it is unsafe, then you have more questions that you have to answer. Like there is a note, right? If there is an unsafe condition, you can hit the note and say, if the conditions are unsafe, raise a fault, right? So this is the instruction to the operator to let him know what needs to be done in case there is a fault that has been noticed, right? So once I look at the note, I can always, create a fault. And then I can say that the oil leaks detected. And then the location has automatically been defaulted into the fault because I created this fault from the context of that particular inspection activity. I can say I can select if it's the weighing scale or the platform which is at fault, assign a priority to it. The fault type, I can say it's a malfunction. Fault mode, it's a mechanical problem. Due date is on the 11th by tomorrow. And then I can add additional details if I choose to, and maybe take an attachment and then say that, so this is probably the oil leak on the floor, right? And then I save this fault. So as a part of my inspection activity, I have captured these unsafe working conditions. I have captured faults, which can then be shared across the larger team. I acknowledge this particular abnormality, and then I can continue with the next tasks. Confirm that the walkways are clear and unobstructed. So I say confirm, it's fine. Take a picture of the general safety working condition. I can say add an attachment. I can take another picture from the camera or the file explorer. I say that this is a picture, I've added it. So as and when I complete these tasks, you see that the progress bar on top keeps moving, and I've completed 4 out of the 12 inspections. So at any point in time, the operator has a clear view of what needs to be done and what is the progress, right? So I can either view all the tasks, or I can just hit open tasks, so that any task that I perform keeps popping off this list, and the next task that I need to perform becomes available, right? So as you can see here, the next task that I need to perform is to capture the location at which I conducted the safety inspection. So I can hit the get location, and then it picks the location where I am at this point in time, and it saves this, and the coordinates of it will get captured. And you see that that task popped off my list because that activity is completed. And if I want to see that, it'll be in the previous screen as the location. And you can see that the GPS coordinates have been captured as 12.92 and 77.59, right? So I'm just going to quickly cycle through all of these different tasks that we have. And I'm just showing you all the different kinds of readings that could be taken by the operator. It could be dates, it could be check boxes to indicate a confirmation. It could be adding attachments, taking pictures, and the surface temperatures. So we have ranges that can be used to indicate the safe operating conditions. So let's say if it's 25, then there's an alert to say that, okay, open the inlet valve by 5, right? So this is the indication to him to say what corrective action needs to be taken if a value is out of range. So let's say if it's 80, then there is another instruction to the the operator. But if it's within range, then the user can just mark it as completed and then continue. The user can take a signature. And then finally, when all the checks have been completed, the supervisor can also participate in this inspection, and then he can add his signature, and the inspection is complete. So once the inspection is complete, the user can submit this, and then can also enter a reason for delay, because this inspection was to be executed in the shift in a certain duration. But if I was not able to do it for a certain reason, I have to just mention the reason for delay, and then I can submit it with this reason. So we have complete accountability and traceability of whatever the user has been doing as a part of his inspection process. And these inspections are then available for the supervisor to view in the supervisor's dashboard, which is a web-based tool that we just talked about as a part of the complete Easy Round solution itself. So we looked at one inspection. Let's also look at what the CILT template looks like, right? So let me go into the CILT. So here we have the production line CILT round. And as you can see here, this CILT, I can accept it and execute it myself. Or as a supervisor, I can assign it to somebody else who could execute it in the plant. So based on the role, one or more of these options will be available to the user, wherein he can assign it or he can accept it himself to execute the CILT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept this CILT because I want to execute the CILT myself. So once I accept the CILT, what I see here is the standard industry template that I talked about. CILT is an acronym for Clean, Inspect, Lubricate, and Tighten. And as a part of that template, each task has a certain number of attributes that are specified to describe the task in detail. Those are the machine part, the method that is to be used to do the activity, the standard to be followed, and the tools that you have to use to actually execute that task, right? So this is basically the template of each task in a CILT. The first task that we have is an inspect task, because it is indicated with an I. The next task is a Titan, which is a T, and so on and so forth. So here the task says that the machine has to be stopped, and this task needs to be executed for 5 minutes by the operator. So the electrical control panel, the visual inspection is to be powered off, and then no loose wires or burn marks. And then what I have to do is, while inspecting it, I have to use a torchlight. So this is a complete template or a description of the activity for the operator to perform the CILT. And in a CILT, unlike in the inspection, there is no readings to be taken. It is just a skip or complete. So I hit a button to say it's completed, or I hit a button to say that it's not completed, right? So I can just go on and then complete all of these different tasks here on the CILT. And again, if I look at the open tasks, it'll just show me all the ones that are pending, and then I can just keep completing them. And for some reason, if I'm not able to address a particular section, I can always hit the skip and then select the reason for skipping it. And then I can save this. If I want to add some notes, observations, I can do that. And all of these notes that I capture as a part of my CILT will be then reviewed by the supervisor in that shift, right? So I complete all of my CILT activities, the inspection activity, and then it can be submitted, right? So when all of these activities have been completed, they automatically sync to the server. So you can see that the item has been queued with a yellow box around it. This shows you that these CILT and inspections can be carried out in an offline mode, and you don't have to be connected to the system at any point in time. And whenever there's connectivity, there'll be an automatic synchronization with the server. Sometimes it may be required to create an ad hoc inspection or a CILT. You can always use the ad hoc button and then create these CILTs on demand, and you can assign it to people to actually do it. Assign a priority, the shift, and then you can do a confirmation, and then the rounds get created. All the faults that you have reported as a part of your shift will be listed in the faults tab. And these faults are used to capture the anomalies which maybe you cannot address but requires the inputs from a technician. The supervisor can look at these faults, and then they can create jobs to address this. And these jobs can be created and then assigned to technicians who would then perform these maintenance activities. The supervisor can assign a start date, he can assign an end date, add more details, he can save the job. And this job is then executed by the technician himself, right? So these are the
Praveen, let's do a
faults.
quick time check.
Yeah.
We have, maybe if you can round out in 2 minutes, then we can do some Q&A. Is that okay?
Absolutely, Alok. Yes. So in this tool, all that I wanted to show you was the different aspects of the mobile component, the mobile part of the solution, which is used for the execution part of it. So there's a whole lot more that the solution offers from the planning perspective, where you can design these CILTs and inspection using a web-based interface. You can do the scheduling and assignment, the cadence that you require for these CILTs and inspections. So all of that is something which cannot be covered in the scope of this webinar. So I would be happy to have a detailed session, and then for whoever is interested, have a detailed session to show you the web aspects and the reporting aspects of the solution as well. So with that, maybe Sushil, we can get back to the slides. Yes.
Go ahead,
So what I was wanting to let all our participants know is that we have a limited time incentive for all the attendees on the webinar. And these are designed to help you kickstart your autonomous maintenance journey. And our team will share, we'll share the details of, what this offer is all about. You can, maybe do a free trial with us. We can enable you to, design some of these CILTs and inspections based on what industry practices you have. Maybe create a, set of 5 users who could then, sign up and start using the solution. So all of this is something which we can offer you as a part of our, free trial, which is a
So,
limited town-bound offer until the first quarter of 2026.
all right. So before we go to Q&A, again, as just want to reiterate we are offering a free trial. So you can, give us your CILT plans, inspection plans, and feel the application or try it for yourself. And also we are having a special discounted pricing for the first 10 customers who sign up, before the end of the quarter. So with that, let's go to the question and answers. We have a question here. I think you answered this, but question, Praveen, is can you comment on the ability of the application to support disconnected mode, offline mode? Can you answer that quickly?
Oh, yes, Alok, absolutely. So as a part of the demo, I showed you that any CILT or inspection that you have on your device is downloaded to the device at the start of your shift. And after that, you can completely go offline because you may have to operate in areas where there's no connectivity. You can conduct all your inspections, you can complete all your CILT tasks, and then you can submit it. And the application would sense when there is network connectivity, and it would sync to the server whenever there is connectivity. So you can operate in a completely offline mode. That's not a problem.
Great. Then I see one more question. Can you trend the individual readings data?
Yes, absolutely. So this is the reporting part of the solution, which is something which is offered as a part of the web component. The supervisors will be able to plot all the readings that the users have taken, because if it's numeric reading, it is possible to have those trends, weekly trends, monthly trends. All of those charts can be easily built by the supervisor himself, and we can have customized dashboards to support all of it.
Okay, there's one more question here. Where is the master data for the operator rounds or the CILT template stored?
So when I talked about the solution architecture, right, I told you that this is a very flexible deployment model. You can have the solution deployed in your data center, wherein you own the complete database. All the templates that you define is something which will be stored in your local database. And if you do it in a hosted model, it'll be on a central database, and it's a multi-tenant system. And you'll be accessing our cloud-based, solution. You can sign up for it. That is also possible. But if you choose to have it in your private data centers, that is exactly where it'll be stored. And to help you create that master data, very easily, we allow you to integrate with your enterprise system so that the initial setup of this, solution itself is not a very tedious task. So you could build, we could have connectors to your enterprise systems to build the entire asset hierarchy, or you could use simple Excel upload templates to, build this asset hierarchy into your solution itself. So we have multiple ways to make it easy for you to adopt this solution.
And if you need more details, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can continue the conversation after the webinar also. So we have a couple of minutes left. Are there any other questions? And we can open up the lines, I guess. So please feel free to. I think you can also ask your questions. So we're opening up the lines, I guess. Right, Sushil, can you open up the lines in case somebody wants to raise a voice or raise a hand and speak?
Yes, I have already opened, so they can just unmute and ask questions.
Any other questions? And while questions are coming again, we are offering a free trial. We want to kind of co-innovate with everyone here. So encourage you to take us up on our offer. And again, we have special exclusive discounted pricing, to jumpstart your autonomous maintenance journey. It seems there are no more questions, and we are coming right around 11:45.
Praveen, can you just take 30 seconds to maybe, quickly explain what is included in the offer so that people know what to expect?
Yes. So what we will allow you as a part of the offer is to sign up for a cloud account of the Easy Rounds solution. We will set up the account with pre-filled data so that it's easy for you to actually conduct the trial. You could, of course, create your own CILT and inspection templates. We will create users for you in multiple roles. We'll set up the cadence. We can also work with you to set up the CILT and inspection templates based on your organizational needs. So we can do all of this and then make it a successful evaluation for you and your enterprise.
So it seems we'll use their data, so it's very relevant for whoever signs up for the POC, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Any other comments, questions? If not, Dan, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today. Thank you, Praveen, and thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. And we'll send you the link to the recording and the slides, and hopefully we can do some proof of concepts. So thank you again, everyone.